We're live. What's up, guys? This is Erin's Comic Room, the Reboot, episode 10. Here with Jose. Where's Jose at? He's over here.
Right here. I'm right.
We have Peter down here from Peter's Comic Corner.
What's up, everyone?
Yeah, it's awesome. He's going to be our special guest today.
I don't know about special, but I'll be your guest.
You'll be more special than Wes.
Wow.
No, I'm joking. Wes was a blast to have on here. I really like Wes. Was
he your last guest that you had on?
He was the last guest. He was. So this is a great
show. Yeah, he was. He was really shy.
Man, both of us back to back. Look at that.
Yeah. he was really shy at first, but like halfway through, he really came out of his like shell, and it was really fun. I
consider myself a very shy, reserved person, but for whatever reason, I've really been enjoying doing, like, getting on camera and stuff. Like a year ago, if you had told me I'd be doing any of this, I would have laughed at you. I mean, I think I even turned Wes down a couple times last year to do a show because it's just not something I was comfortable with. But yeah, I've been really enjoying myself, having a lot of fun too. So I really appreciate y'all having me on.
Of course.
Yeah, no problem. I like this is our 10th episode. Actually, realistically, this is like our 15th episode.
Volume 2. This is volume 2.
This is volume 2 because I had another co-host previously, and there was a falling out there. We don't really need to go into that. But Jose joined the squad, and ever since Jose joined the squad, yeah, it's the reboot. Yeah,
exactly. Okay, gotcha.
So we were just talking. You're from Illinois, Peter. How's Illinois?
Not much, but for whatever reason, I'm really close to Gurnee. And the mall and Six Flags there are a tourist destination. I don't know if it's maybe that I grew up around here and it's just like 10 minutes down the road, so it's not a big deal. So I'm always confused why it's a draw. But like, we have people that'll vacation and come to Six Flags. And for me, it's just something I used to do, you know, after high school. We'd be like, hey, you want to go ride one roller coaster and then, you know, go home? And that's what we would do after school. We would get season passes and just go for an hour. And for some people, it's like a vacation spot. So it's kind of funny to me, actually, sometimes.
That's really familiar because I actually live near, I grew up near Hershey Park.
Right.
In Pennsylvania. And that was kind of like the same thing. Like we would have like summer trips there, you know, like we would, it was just a place you would go to hang out, you know, and like, it's a big tourist spot. And I actually grew up in Gettysburg. That's where I grew up.
Oh, okay. So even more so.
Just south of Hershey, yeah. So that's even more. If you watch any of my streams, you probably hear me talking about like ghost hunting in Gettysburg and stuff. But that's like a big tourist attraction, and like every summer, like the town would be popping. I remember I worked at Perkins. It was one of my first jobs, and every summer, like we would just busy, like because of all the tourists. People would all come see like reenactments, come see like all the museums and stuff. But to like us, it was just like whatever, you know, it's just home. But that's usually when people ask me where I'm from, I usually tell them Gettysburg. Everybody knows where Gettysburg is.
Yeah, that's what, same here. Typically I just tell I'm like an hour north of Chicago. But like, I just usually am just like, oh yeah, I'm from like the Chicago land area, you know. Yeah. Most people, that's good enough. But cool. To be more exact, I'm like literally halfway between Chicago and Milwaukee. I'm about an hour away from each.
I don't trust people that don't know what a good winter is. You know what I mean?
I mean, like we definitely get a good winter.
I get a really good winter.
Like if you've never seen snow, I don't trust you.
Like we get good winters and we get decent summers. Like we don't get super hot, but we'll have like a couple days. This summer has been pretty hot so far. I will.
Yeah, we have a couple late 80s this year so far.
Yeah,
I don't know if we reached 90 yet, but you got a couple good ones.
I'm excited though. Literally like a week from right now, I'll be in Anchorage, Alaska, where the high is like 60 this time of year, and I'm really excited for that. I'm not really a hot weather person.
Okay, what are you doing up there? I need to know.
I love that.
Jill and I are going on our pre-wedding honeymoon because we don't have any time for like 2+ years after the wedding to do anything like this. You know, I had 2 siblings get engaged, and they have weddings next year. Jill's dad is retiring, and he's taking us to Greece next year. So next year is pre-booked. We're booked up next year. So we decided, hey, what if we just do something this year before the wedding? Like, who really cares, honestly? So yeah, we're going up to Anchorage, Alaska, and I'm really excited for it.
Hey,
That's awesome.
What's up, Duncan? And then we have Legends of the Dork Knight here. Is that you running this, or is that Wes?
That is not. I am not talking to ourselves right now. That has got to be Wes.
That's okay. So
Yeah,
I figured it was either you or it was Wes.
You're like, man, this is an awesome show. Great. No, that's Wes. What's up, Wes?
If I could do that, I would probably do that.
Oh boy.
See, I feel disingenuous if I were to like look away, and be like, oh, he must be disinterested, I don't think I have it in me to do that.
So that's cool. Anchorage, Alaska. That's I've never been to Alaska.
You know what?
Nope, never been. It sounds...
I haven't either.
I haven't been either, but my wife and I we went on our honeymoon. We went to Scotland, then we went to Iceland. And if you want some good cold weather there,
what's with all these Why are you guys going out in the cold? Like, if I was getting married, I'd want to go to like Florida or something. Like, I deal with the winter
Jill
every
and I
winter.
are both not hot weather people. I've gotten that.
Yeah, I
lot,
hate the hot weather.
It's like you guys are going from hot weather to cold weather, and I'm like, yes, I absolutely am. I'm absolutely doing that. See, anything over like 65 degrees is hot to me. I am not built for heat.
I've lived in Pennsylvania all my life, or damn near all my life, and I've dealt with almost 30 winters, and I'm kind of done with snow.
See,
I love snow.
Snow is fun when you don't have to drive in it.
Driving it sucks, especially when it gets in your tires.
Not if you have a Jeep.
So driving sucks, but everything else to me about snow is awesome. Like, it looks very nice. I think it just looks beautiful. And also, like, for me, it's easier to be cold and put on a little bit of extra layers than it is to be hot and try to cool down because, there's only so much you can do. But no matter how cold it is, just throw on another layer or something. I just like the winter time.
And if you get too hot, just take the layer off.
I just don't like
how
you guys know how it is though. Like, especially like if it snows on like a Tuesday and it snows like 2 inches, everybody loses their goddamn mind and acts like it's the end of the world.
That's nothing.
It never ceases to amaze me. The first snow of every season, it's like people forgot what snow is.
Yeah, it's like you live here, right? Like,
right, exactly. Yeah. And then you'll also get, you'll get the opposite end of the stick with like the people driving like huge trucks that just think that snow is nothing. And it's like, it might help you get better like traction, but it's not going to help you brake better.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Like, you got like the two sides. You got the two sides of the coin. You got the people who forget what snow is, and then the people who could care less that there's snow, and they just like keep on doing what they're doing.
All right, so like
exactly.
I said,
we've gotten that a bunch. It's like, why are you leaving hot weather?
like I said, I got to dip out for like 5-10 minutes, but to get you guys on a good conversation,
I've got that same cover. Great series.
This is what I read this twice last night, and honestly, can I be honest with you guys? This is probably my favorite book now. Like, that's currently out. This Noctera, Noctera. This issue made me cry.
Not only is Noctera one of my favorites, but Jenny Friesen is just like my all-time favorite cover artist, and she has such a fascinating career path to me too. It's amazing.
I don't want to be left out.
Woo!
But
we're not
also
triplets.
Wait.
Oh, nice.
Wait. I can do it too. I can do it too.
I haven't gotten my books from this week yet.
These are the only ones I have out. Like, these are the only ones I can grab.
I think the other cover. Here's the other cover that I have handy. That Nightwing cover.
Oh, I haven't got that yet. I don't think.
Mine's a little far, but it's on display right there.
I don't know.
Oh, nice. Okay, so
Nice.
guys, I'm gonna be here listening. I'm not gonna be here, but I'm gonna be here listening. So I want to start you
All
guys
right.
off on a really nice path.
So Peter,
Wednesday was New Comic Book Day. What did you guys get? And now I'm gonna bounce out, but I'm gonna be here listening. I'm just not gonna be here. Okay.
actually, Peter,
All right, you
Erin
know
brought up
what?
a good point. What is your favorite comic book series going on right at the moment?
You know, there's a lot that I really, really love. Sometimes it depends on which one I've read most recently. That'll be my favorite at that moment. But consistently for a while now, I've had two, which are Something's Killing the Children and Once and Future. I love both of those books so much. They're just really fantastic. But I'm also really enjoying Noctera is up there for me. I am personally a fan of the Tynan Batman run. I apologize. I just learned that pronunciation recently. But for me, I've really just been enjoying the independent stuff. So I would put definitely Once and Future and Something's Killing the Children top two. Department of Truth is way up there too. Philadelphia is way up there too. Ice Cream Man has been fantastic for a while. I mean, honestly, it's hard to narrow it down sometimes. We're just really in a golden age of independent comics, in my opinion.
I came across a book just out of happenstance. It's completely different than any of those books we just talked about. It's called Alice in Leatherland. Have you heard of that book?
Yes. I love that one too.
I love that. Like, it's like 3 issues in, but like it's such a fun series, and it really captures what you go through after a breakup so well. But it's just got some fun characterizations.
It's really
the art.
I don't know how it came into my view, but whoever recommended it, it was probably just scrolling on Twitter. For all I know, it was you. But yeah, that has been such a surprisingly out of nowhere good series for me. I've loved that one too.
It just came into my box. Like, I think I found out, like, someone put it in my pull by mistake. But I'm like, oh, no, I'll give it a shot. Give it a shot. I loved it, and I subscribed to it. Another one that my retailer recommended was Stray Dogs. Have you ever read that?
Yes. Fantastic.
That it gets real in that book. That book gets real.
Yeah. Absolutely. It left on a pretty good cliffhanger. I won't say too much, but talk about, again, another surprising book that, you look at it and it's like, oh, it's kind of some like Disney animation style dogs, and like it's like, oh, this is actually like a crime thriller. Yeah,
there's a little bit of horror
surprising
too.
Book. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
and now all and now they're like second, third printings are like doing the horror like poster homages, which is pretty cool too. Yeah. But yeah, I love a good homage cover.
I love the homage covers. And there's the most recent homage cover that I think was Midsummer with the crown. I just love that with the dog and the crown. That was really good.
So I want to mention, since we're talking about indies, shout out to my favorite indies. I want to start off saying, I don't know what to say first because I'm kind of biased. So if you haven't read Villainous by Stoney Williams.
Oh, yeah. You're talking.
Yeah.
I'm kind of biased.
Let me see.
So, like, Villainous by Stoney Williams.
Are either you reading Space Bastards?
Space Bastards.
I've
seen it. Yeah. Oh, man. Basically, in a nutshell, it's an intergalactic postal service / oh, gosh, how would I even describe this? Basically, if you kill the person running the postage, it increases the amount you get paid for that parcel. Mm-hmm. And the more so the harder it is for a parcel to get somewhere, the more people that are after it trying to deliver it, the more money you can make on that parcel. So it's like outlaw, like Wild West and every time it changes hands, the price for that package increases.
That's
So,
cool.
like,
That's
certain
cool.
packages can get a lot of demand. Yeah, it's been one I've really been enjoying. What else am I enjoying? Oh, yeah,
That's
here we go.
intriguing.
Look at that. That's my next issue I have to read there. Alice in Leatherland.
Yeah, that's a good issue.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I have
Actually,
yet
Erin,
to
I
read
think
this
you'd
one.
like that one too.
I agree.
There's another one. Have you ever read this series, Death of Lelia Star? The many
Yes.
Death of Lelia Star?
Everything by Ram
Everything
V
from Ram.
is an instant
Everything he
pickup for
does.
me.
I like
Yep,
that cover.
Everything he does is an instant pickup for me.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool cover actually.
He's everything that he's been doing. Swamp Thing, Catwoman, this. Love it.
Who?
And,
I mean, to be
Ram V.
completely honest with you, Catwoman was one of those series. Like, I'm such a big Jenny fan that, like, I'll buy her covers even if I have zero intention of reading the book itself, just because I love her art so much. But
You should really look at the interior artist though.
Oh, on Catwoman?
On Catwoman and the interior artist,
I've been
Fernando
reading Catwoman
Blanco.
for a while.
Fernando Blanco. He's one of my favorite artists, like in the industry right now, especially interior artists. Like he absolutely kills the Catwoman, like the whole aesthetic. I love his artwork is amazing. I love Fernando Blanco.
He does the best. I think he does the best Gotham out of all the.
Have you ever seen his Batman?
Yeah,
his Batman is amazing. Anyway, I just kind of want to geek out about that.
That's a really good point. I don't know if I'd be able to counter that with anything. His Gotham is definitely one of my favorites.
I mean, I like Jorge Jimenez's Gotham too. He's got like that neon style to it, but there's something
a little bit of the Schumacher touch in there.
Yeah, exactly. But I think out of all the Bat books, Catwoman is up there, but I think Nightwing's my top favorite of all the Bat books.
I like Jimenez's Babs though.
I like Jimenez in everything. I just love his style in general. But character design wise, I think his Scarecrow may be the best. Top tier for me.
Same here.
Like,
that's the best.
It's hard to reimagine a villain's look while incorporating like the classic elements, especially in Batman characters who have years and years of history.
Yeah, we've seen so many Scarecrows.
It might be my favorite Scarecrow design ever.
I agree. In my reviews, I think like this is how Scarecrow should always look, just terrifying.
I would say
the straw. I mean, just.
I would say Kelly Jones does the best Scarecrow, in my opinion. But I think he recently came out as like a comic skater or something. So I'm just gonna go with Jimenez because it's kind of like a tie between those for Scarecrow. But I do really enjoy Jimenez's art, and I was really disappointed to Jose. You're over here.
Yeah.
You're over here. You sent me the Ghostmaker what is it called? The arc, the Ghostmaker arc, and I was like really excited because the Jimenez's covers, and then I was like really sad because they weren't Jimenez interiors.
Yeah. Who did interiors for that arc? It wasn't March. Was it?
Gilliam March, I think.
March?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it wasn't bad. It was just. It wasn't Jimenez. I wanted Jimenez. I was excited for Jimenez.
I think it's more like have you ever had like two drinks in a cup holder and you reach for one and you think you're grabbing like a Pepsi or something? It ends up being like, I don't know, milk. And it's like you might still like milk, but you weren't expecting milk, so it wasn't as good as what you were expecting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was still really good, but it wasn't what you were expecting. So it's like, oh.
I loved it though. It was one of my favorite. Like I heard you saying that the Tinian or Tinian or however the hell you say Mr. Genius's name.
Tinian was it?
I believe it's Tynan. I believe it's Tynan, and I think Wes is the one that educated me on that. I can be kind of bad at pronunciations in general, but I'm almost positive it's Tynan.
That's a hard one. That's a really hard one. But
I used to just like.
I remember
when I was at the comic shop, I would say Tynan.
So
Yeah.
you were talking about you loved his Batman run, and I'm gonna have to agree with you. I really love his Batman run too. It had a rocky start, and
I didn't care for the Joker War arc, but
it
like
had a
everything
really
after
rocky
that
start. Let's be
came
honest. The
is
Joker War
better.
wasn't that
Joker
great.
War,
Let's be
in
honest.
my opinion on Joker War is that when he took over the Bat book, DC
He had to do
editorial
it,
was
I'm
like,
sure.
listen,
Yeah.
this event is happening and it has to have these particular things happen, because ever since the end of Joker War, I feel like his run has gotten better. And I feel
I
like
agree,
it's
Yes.
100%.
more it feels more like his decisions and his influence, if that
feel
makes
like-
sense. Like,
feel like
it
a lot-
almost felt like he was kind of like stuck into some kind of pre-planned stuff before at the start of his run.
He
That's,
still kind of is, but he has more freedom now than he did on Joker War, I think.
I like the end of Joker
Right,
War.
absolutely.
I like the end of Joker War. That's about it. But like,
The
yeah,
last
I
issue was
agree.
good, 100.
His run has been amazing, and even though I've canceled it, I'm still picking it up.
You should pick it up. You should keep picking it up.
It's
only gonna.
but dude, like, okay, we're gonna go into this. Like, DC Comics cost too much, so I canceled like half my pull list. I cannot listen. I want to read the indies. I want to support my indie books as much. Like, this is great. This is amazing. But at the end of the day, it's DC. It's one of the big two. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, this will get dropped for an indie book.
Something with
Without
DC
question.
and their DC Infinite now, like in a year, maybe even less, that's just going to be available digitally to read. So you're really not falling too far behind in a DC
covers.
Infinite. I mean,
the covers are the only things I'm buying now. Are the covers?
Okay.
That's where I'm caught too, because like I love
like
a good
look
cover.
at this.
Like I was saying, I'll buy a
like,
cover.
What?
Yeah, exactly. I'll buy a cover for a book I have no intention of reading just because I like the
I've
cover.
done that.
Yeah. I buy. Okay, so how I do my pull list now that I've canceled pretty much every major DC title. I'm only subscribed to Nightwing, Harley Quinn, and Batman Adventures. That's it.
Yeah.
So
Stephanie Phillips has been killing it on Harley Quinn too.
She's been killing on everything she's been doing, but her Harley Quinn has been fantastic.
Her Harley Quinn is amazing.
That is true. I'm super excited that A Man Among Ye is coming back next week too. So that'll be awesome.
She also has like this heavy metal publication. Tamara, have you read that one yet?
I have not, but I've definitely heard of it.
This so freaking good.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
Interesting.
But how I do my how I arrange
and Nuclear Family too.
Is that Christian Ward on the art?
Because it's Zerker.
Okay.
There's a different artist for like every couple of issues, so
that's cool.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so I don't think there's been a consistent artist for it yet, but it's only like 7 issues at the moment, so.
So yeah, guys.
Gotcha.
As I was saying, how I do my pull list. Now that I canceled all Marvel. I just can't with Marvel right now.
They're expensive. They're expensive as hell. They're really hard to keep up.
I canceled half my DC books, and how I do it now is I will drop a major book for an indie like that. If an indie entices me, I will drop a major book. Like I will drop Batman for an indie any day. But I go through the major too, and how I do it is if I see a cover I like, I will just like tell my LCS owner like, hey, I want that cover. And I'll just get the covers that I like, or like the variants or whatever. And I forgot to mention I am subscribed to this one, but I don't really count this one because it's like $3. It's like the cheapest on DC's like subscription list.
Yeah.
So but it's like one of the best. 2 of my favorite things put together. Like, come on. But yeah, I agree with Peter. We're in a golden age of indie comic books, and honestly,
and in terms of the pull list, it's kind of easy to cancel a big 2 book because in terms of ordering, a lot of shops will cut it close on their numbers for an indie book.
Yeah, because they don't know if it's going to sell or not.
At the shop I used to work at, we had, I think, 200 people pulling Batman, but we would get in like 275 copies. So there were 75 copies just going on the shelf. So it's a lot easier to pre-order your indies and then be like, oh, you know what? I am going to grab this, see what's going on. And, you know, it's easier on you. It's easier on the shop because, again, for indies, a lot of shops will cut it within like maybe 5 issues for that. And
you don't have that stress of like, you don't have that stress of like my pool list is like $80 this week. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's a huge bill.
Even if they do run out of the DC book, they're probably gonna have a variant cover available anyway. Because they're gonna order like 75 more for the shop and probably another 25 for the variant cover to keep. So you're always gonna have something to there.
And there's not only that, but worst case scenario, I'm guaranteeing it's gonna be easier for the shop to reorder a Batman book than it is for, you know, a Scout or a Mad book where, you know, they're probably sold out at the distributor level.
So,
I mean, with very few exceptions, you're not going to see like a run out of anything from DC or Marvel, unless it's like a first character appearance that everyone's been talking about or something.
So I do want to tell you guys, I do want to tell you guys, there's this shop in Old Town. And like on all the way on the other side of the city, in the oldest part of the city, it's why it's called Old Town. It's like the colonial part of the city. There's a comic book shop called Brave New Worlds, and I went in there, and they had like all their major 2. They had like the cover A, and they had like a stack like of cover A, and then beside it they had like cover B, and then cover C, and then if it had a cover D, it had a cover D. Like they had everything, like all the variant covers, and I'm just like, I've never seen that before. Just like on the shelf, like
I have 2 shops near me, and one of them is like exactly that. They'll have, you know, 25, 30 of every cover, and then there's another shop down the road that only gets A covers, won't even order you a variant cover. So I agree. Yeah. Like I said, I'm a big fan of like an awesome cover, so that's what I like too.
I'm a big fan of indie books. So what's everybody been reading? Like, I want to know what's everybody like besides new books. You know, what's everybody been reading? I'm gonna go first, and I'm gonna just
already know what that is.
Invincible.
I was gonna say there's a Peter bookmark in it, but there's not. There's an Aftershock. Sorry.
That's all right. That's an equally good bookmark. Don't worry.
I've been reading this, and I was thankful enough to have somebody gift me all of the compendiums for this. So I was pretty awesome. Yeah, I was.
That is quite a gift.
So I am very curious to know where you're at, Jose, because I was racing you.
I am very behind on that one.
That's what I figured.
Are you two reading Invincible for the first time?
Yes.
Yes, for me it's the first time. Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting. That's
it's
exciting.
A ride. It has been amazing so far. I think I'm on like issue 30.
Just judging off of your bookmark, I can tell that you're past where the show is. What have you been thinking so far?
Well, the show, I kind of saw the show first, and the show is one of the best things that I've seen on TV recently. In my opinion, a lot of TV is kind of shitty, especially when it comes to comic book stuff. It can be hit or miss, you know what I mean? And I think the animated adaptation of Invincible really nailed it, and I do enjoy reading through the comic book and seeing the differences and like how the plot is laid out a whole lot different than the show. I do think the show has a lot of better differences in it. And you know, there's some stuff in here that's dated, some humor that's, you know, just a little bit out of date. You know, there's some homophobic jokes, you know, I've seen. But overall, it's pretty awesome. Like I'm excited to see what happens, and you know, I have like 150 issues of it, and it'll probably be the first long run of a comic book series that I've done since I did The Walking Dead. I did The Walking Dead up to like issue 105 when it was current. So like that was a pretty big one for me. But this is funny enough, it's Robert Kirkman again. It's like I'm so enamored with it. Like
funny.
It's kind of weird. Yeah, I was a big Walking Dead fan. When The Walking Dead first came out, I remember being in the comic book store at the mall with my mom, and I used to go in there and buy like whatever Star Wars comics looked cool at the time from Dark Horse. And I remember I saw The Walking Dead, and I was like, "Oh my god, zombies!" And I picked it up, and I just kind of picked up whatever Walking Dead comic I saw from then on, and it kind of became one of my like favorite comic books ever. But then they made the show, and it kind of blew up, and I have reservations about the show, and I'm just so thankful that Invincible is getting a way better treatment. Like,
yeah, actually, funny enough, so I'm relatively new. Like, I've been reading comics for like 4 years. Growing up, I never had anyone that was like into it. I never, I played pretty much all I did was played sports growing up, and even through high school. And then what happened is, I got done with my like degrees, and I was like, damn, all I do is work. I need to find a hobby for myself to like enjoy myself. So that became comics purely based on the fact that I used to like Batman the Animated Series. That's it.
That's cool.
And from there, it's
awesome
become
show.
like a whole big thing. Now I'm like super into independence, all that good stuff. But
that's awesome.
Yeah. But for me, I watched The Walking Dead like way before I ever got into comics. And I think I made it like 4 episodes ish. And I was just like, man, this kind of sucks. And, now with the deluxe edition of The Walking Dead coming out, I'd never even read The Walking Dead. The show kind of turned me off from it completely. So now I've been picking up like the deluxe edition of the comics, and I'm like, damn, this is kind of awesome.
Yeah,
so
it is.
I'm one of those people that's like, yes, it's obviously a cash grab that Image is like re-releasing all these books.
I'm so glad they are though, because
me too.
New readers like you are.
I am exactly the reason why it's a good idea, because someone like me who's never read it before, and maybe this thick of books is an intimidating thing.
Yeah.
And now I can just read it one comic at a time. So I'm actually a big fan of the re-release.
That's awesome.
Because it's properly introducing me to that world.
I'm always a fan of re-releases, because Walking Dead would probably be a good example. I saw this happening with Invincible for a little bit, where like if you really want to get into it, before they do a re-release, you see all the trades just get jacked up in price online.
Oh yeah,
and then when they do the releases, you kind of see those trades disappear.
They're gone.
Like it's a really good idea that they do it with Birds of Prey a lot. They did it with Invincible recently.
So I was reading the re-release of The Walking Dead because I was like, well, damn, I can enjoy this all the way through, like as it's meant to be enjoyed now. Like when I was a kid, I didn't, I went to the comic book store whenever my mom like went to the mall to get her hair done or something. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like a weekly event. So like I didn't, there were gaps in my collection. You know what I mean? Like I was a kid. I couldn't afford all this stuff. So like I was like, God damn, like I can do it as it's meant to be read now. And I got like 6 issues in, and I was like, I'll pass. I've already read, like I've already experienced this. It's just the same thing in color.
Funny.
But like it's really
exactly.
I like the extra stuff though, and like the first couple issues that I remember, like the back pages were like full of like scripts and like Robert Kirkman's like plot layouts, and like cool as like a writer, like that's really cool to like see.
I'm always fascinated behind the scenes process. It's always so cool to me.
It's something, because every writer, actually I have a book that I don't know where it's at, but I have a book that goes through it has like 12 different writers, and it has like their examples of like how they do script and plot layouts. It has like Neil Gaiman, Alan Moore, Dwayne McDuffie.
That's very cool.
Just like all the like big like writers in like I think it was made in like 2005 or something, but it's still a really cool piece to like study. Like if you're like interested in like writing comic books, it's really cool. And like everybody does it differently. Like you'll be amazed like how differently everybody, like all these like notorious like the good writers, like how they think and how they lay it all out on paper is just very different. I don't know. I'm just rambling now.
No. If you find that book, post it and tag me in that. I'd be definitely interested in reading.
I will do that. It's
probably the process is fascinating to me.
It's probably packed up.
Yeah, no worries. I'll hound you about it every once in a while.
When I pull out my once I pull out and reset up my bookshelves, I'll do that. I like to have all my books out on display, so I'll do that like almost immediately. All I got is this little bookshelf here now, and it's like barely has anything on it. Yeah, I think there's like a copy of Dune down there. That's about it.
Oh, nice.
It's got all the good stuff.
When you redo your bookshelf, then how do you typically organize your books?
I like
title, by publisher, just throw them on a shelf.
I like to do it two ways. I like to have a bookshelf of things that I've read, and I like to have a bookshelf of things that I've not read. Because with any comic book reader and collector, I have a lot of things that I've bought and just on the shelf. You know what I mean, or in the read pile, and so I like to do that so I can physically see like what I need to read and what I don't need to read, and then I do it by publisher. And then by like character, like I'll have all my Batman books and like all my like Bat characters together, you know what I mean? Yep. And then I'll have like all my like Justice League and Green Lantern and Cosmic stuff together, and then so on and so forth.
So you're very organized. I mean, I would consider that very organized.
I redo it like every couple months though, so like. Because I'm constantly getting new stuff, and like there'll be like a pile like beside the bookshelf, like. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah,
you know how it is.
I was gonna grab my read pile, but my read pile is actually turned into a read short box plus like 2 or 3 additional piles. So
that's all of us, man.
It really is. I learned that I think I posted a couple months back like a picture of like 2 stacks of book, maybe this big. And I was like, dang, can't believe I've fallen so far behind on my reading. And I just got swamped with people showing me their pull list, which was in some cases like an entire row, like bookshelf or like 2 or 3 long boxes. And I'm like, damn, okay, I guess I'm not that far behind on my reading. It's just like little things like that really show off that I'm a newbie into the whole comic thing. All, evidence to the contrary, but I am really new to this.
I think I might have been one of those people. I'm sorry.
No. It was like, it was really funny to me.
This guy buys everything. I was
like, oh, I've got like 40 books to read. And people are like, yeah, I've got like 2 whole years worth of comics to catch up on here. And I'm like, oh, okay. So like, that's how I'm going to be one day, probably.
See,
I'm also the jerk. Excuse me. I'm also the jerk who would with a whole pile of stuff to read, I'll say, "Oh, I just haven't read this in a while," and I'll reread something that from like years ago. I just did that
too. It's like, I'm gonna reread the Dark Phoenix saga for the 10th time.
Right now, I'm doing I just bought the omnibus for all new Wolverine. They just Taylor's omnibus. So I read.
Wait, time out. Weren't you going to send me those trades?
I am. I'm still going to. I was going to talk to you about that. I don't know if you want me to send them to your address still, or if you want me to send them to a different.
If you're gonna send them soon, do it, because I'm going to be out of here soon. But like you still have time to send stuff.
Okay, but, I'll send that.
Just a fair warning: they won't go into the read pile. They'll just go right into a box. Actually, they probably just stay in the box. And so like everything, like seriously, guys, and coming back to like the all these comics and falling behind on the repile, that's another reservation that I have when like, canceling comics. Like I've fallen so far behind on a lot of these comics that I have more stuff to read, like more trades and more like, complete runs that I have to read, that I'm interested in the newer comics.
Yeah,
so like
that's fair.
Even if I
mean,
canceled every single book I have, I would still have like years and years of stuff to read.
Well, like last year when we didn't have new books coming out for like 3-ish months,
It was nice.
I was like, oh man, here we go. I'm gonna catch up on everything I need to, and I don't think I made any ground during that time. Like I may have like read a lot of it, but like I don't know. It's like you read one book and 2 more take its place. It's like, how do I get ahead here?
During that time, I still had a read pile. I'm like, oh, I'll get through this. But like I said again, I decided I'll reread No Man's Land.
Oh my God, get out of here, Jose. Jesus Christ.
One of the longest Batman sagas there is.
It's one of the best Batman sagas.
It is. No argument there. But just like of all the ones to read, you're gonna like, you know what? I'm gonna read this gigantic chunk. And
I didn't. To my credit, I did not start at Cataclysm. I kind of just went straight into No Man's
Land. Okay, gotcha. They didn't do the whole road to.
I'll be honest. My go-to is either year one, or I've read year one so many times, or like The Dark Knight Returns. Like if I need a good Batman story, and I just want a Batman story. I don't give a fuck about anything else. I just want to see Batman kick ass. I usually go to like a Frank Miller Batman story, like an older Frank Miller Batman.
If you're looking for a kick-ass Batman, you're definitely in the right place.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like there's different kinds of Batman, but if you just want Batman and you just want to see Batman do bat things, like and so
I think if I had to pick like a comfort Batman book, I think it would be Batman, Ego, and Other Tales by Darwin Cook.
So good, Darwin Cook.
I think Darwin Cook is kind of my comfort, like my comfort zone in general, because like overall, if there was one book that I go back to more than anything else, it's New Frontier. That is like I just want to like, if I want to ever be just like comforted by a comic, like come here, you've had a rough week, New Frontier. That's my comfort comic. But like Batman wise, Ego and Other Tales is really, really good. Gosh, I mean,
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest right now. My comfort comics, and you guys are gonna laugh at me, and you probably would never have guessed this. This is coming right out of left field.
Hold on. Let me take a guess. Is it a big 2?
It is.
Is it Ghost Rider?
Unbeatable Squirrel Girl.
No.
Not Ghost Rider.
No, not Ghost Rider. Good fucking guess though. Deadpool.
Okay.
You guys would have never guessed Deadpool because I never talk about Deadpool. I don't have anything Deadpool related at all. But I think at one point I went on a frenzy and I was buying every single Deadpool trade that I could get my hands on. And whenever I feel like I just want something to read and just to feel comforted by, I just read Deadpool. And Cullen Bunn Deadpool was one of my favorites. And you can say what you want about Deadpool. Deadpool was an amazing comic just to sit down and just kind of let happen. You know what I mean?
You know what my comfort read is?
What's that?
What?
It's a toss-up. Actually, that's one of the toss-ups. It's either Batgirl Year One. I do read that like at least once a year. Batgirl Year One, or Gail Simone's Birds of Prey.
Is it another DC book?
Yes, both of them. Yeah.
Okay.
Birds of Prey.
Nice.
I like whoa, that book.
Yeah.
You told me to get that book. What was it? What was that? Batgirl League of Her Own.
Oh yeah.
Dude, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Like that went to the top of my read pile, and I read that, and I enjoyed the shit out of it. And that's probably going to be one of my comfort reads because it's just like the Batman adventures, more Batman adventures. Honestly, I've watched the Batman adventures through. Going back to quarantine and how you said you were going to catch up on your read pile. Mm-hmm. I said the same thing. I was like, I'm going to catch up on my read pile. I'm going to read all of this. It's going to be great. And I pretty much just got high for 3 months and watched Batman Adventures and MST3K.
Yeah, I got laid off last March, and I think most of my time was spent Gosh, I did read a lot of comics, but that doesn't mean I caught up on my backlog. It was just like I said. It was like I'd read one comic and then there would be 2 more I wanted to read.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I get so.
I had more. Okay. I had more than enough time last year to read so much, and I still didn't catch up.
Okay, so I'm this way with everything. All right, I get a lot of things, and then I get too much of the thing, and then I get stressed out that I have too much of the thing to do, and then I just don't do it. Like I'm the same way with video games. Like I have so many video games to play that like I just don't play them because like you know what I mean. Like I don't know what to play. Like I'm the same way with books and comic books. Like I want to read. I don't know what to read. There's so much stuff. Like the selection is too much. You know what I mean? And especially if you're buying like. Okay, I've found so many cheap like buy 2 get 1 free, buy 1 get 2 free like vendors on eBay with like trades, and I have so many. And Jose keeps sending me stuff. Oh my god,
it's good stuff though.
Yeah, okay, I'm not gonna say no. Please send me that old new Wolverine. I want that old new Wolverine.
There's worse things I can send you.
I know, but you know, I'm starting to look at it like I'm moving next month, and you know, I'm packing all this stuff up, and I'm seeing how much it is all packed up, and I'm just like,
I have legitimate night terrors over the prospect of having to move someday. I mean,
I had to do that last year.
I have so much stuff, and the only thing that keeps me calm is that I also have like 2 brothers, and Jill's got 2 brothers, and we have a bunch of family that's going to help us. But like, there is just so much stuff to move. It's unbelievable.
Okay, I probably don't have near as much as you. I have like 10 short boxes, and that's all my trades in comics.
So
when I moved last year. Sorry.
I accumulated so much stuff working at a comic shop for like 5 years.
I could imagine, man. I worked at American Eagle.
It could have been 5 years. I already said I've only been reading for like 4, so it was like 3-ish years, and we got paid in store credit. So I got tons of comic stuff.
Listen, I worked at American Eagle for the seasonal for 3 months, and my entire wardrobe is American Eagle. Like I have so many American Eagle clothes that I haven't even worn every pair of jeans or every shirt. Like
that's impressive.
And I don't know how it happened. I only worked there for 3 months.
Yep. So like,
so I can imagine.
Yeah. So it was like we got paid all in store credit. So you know, I was probably bringing in like $250 a week on my store credit, and with even every week, even with all my variants, I would pick up trades if I liked them. Like I was spending at most $150 a week. I
could not spend $250 a week in a comic book shop. I would go insane. There would be so much.
The way I did it is I have so many statues and Funkos, and like I basically, on top of my weekly comics, and like, you know, for a lot of things, I got any variant I wanted because it wasn't even like I didn't have to spend real money on it, I guess. Like I was spending my time on it, but I enjoyed being it. I enjoyed being at the comic shop. It wasn't work for me.
I hang out at the comic book shop for like all day sometimes, you know what I mean? Like
right. Yeah. Exactly. So like I was working full time, and I was also working like 20-ish hours at the comic shop a week. And I mean, it got to the point last summer where I had almost $3,000 in just like banked store credit. And he's like, listen, I need you to like get this down. So like I first bought myself a brand new bookshelf, and then I proceeded to fill said bookshelf with any run of things I thought I might want to read someday. You know, like I got like a ton of old like Image stuff, a ton of old like DC stuff, like
that's
just
crazy.
So much stuff that I have basically a whole shelf next to me of just new.
I can see some of your room back there. Well, like you just got a wall of like Funko back there.
This is my vault of stuff. Yeah, I got tons of stuff.
You make me feel very good about my collecting.
Yeah,
I have not nearly as much.
My parents referred to this room whenever they come over, they're like, "Oh, have you added anything to the museum?" They just call it the museum.
So do your parents like think this is like good, or do they like think this like what's because you said you were in like the sports and stuff like growing
Yeah,
up, like you weren't a nerd, you know what I mean? Like
I think I always was a nerd, but just a nerd who hadn't found, because to me, now here's an opinion I have that
you're definitely a nerd.
oh no, 100%, and I think I always have been, because something as fanatical as I am about like comics now, I used to be the same way about like my favorite sports teams.
Did you
And I
collect
think
baseball
one
cards
of
and
my
stuff?
like oh yeah, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, baseball, football, all of that. Any card, I loved cards.
I was
But
a shortstop
nice.
in my varsity team. I collected a lot
I
of
didn't
sports
make
cards.
the high school baseball team, so I started playing lacrosse. And
Well,
actually it ended up being my favorite sport that I ever played, funny enough.
I found
But
something
so
else, I
yeah,
lost out on all the baseball.
that was well after high school for me. But no, my opinion is that being a super like fan of any sports team is nerdy. I mean, we walk
It's just
around wearing like Superman shirts or whatever it may be. What's the difference between wearing? Yeah, that's a really kick-ass shirt. That's awesome.
I know, I
I
love
love
it.
that.
Like,
I love that Poison Ivy.
$7 on Amazon.
What's the difference between wearing a jersey with a team and a name on it? Like,
not much.
To me, there's not much difference. And it's like, comic book nerds might be able to tell you the first appearance of characters, but like sports nerds can tell you when a player was drafted, what years they played for what teams, what their stats were for that year. To me, there is not much difference it's just being a geek in a different thing. And, a lot of sports fans probably would like argue against that. But having been as big a super fan as I am, I was actually, now this might bother you, but I was actually a huge Pittsburgh fan. Love the Steelers, love the Penguins, hate the Flyers. It was just
I love the Flyers.
That was what I was all about.
Gritty.
May I post a question? I tried looking for the comic book company. I couldn't find it, so that's what I was doing on my phone. But there was a comic book company that's introducing something called comic tags. Comic Burrito posted about
Scout.
Have you heard about Scout Comics? Yes, I couldn't find it. Have you heard about that, Erin? Comic tags?
No.
It's like, you know how like when you collect a comic, it's a collectible. Yeah. But when you collect a digital comic, it's just digital.
Yeah.
This is the way of making digital comics collectible. You get these tags, and I think you're able to it has a little bit of artwork, and I think you're able to download the book. But it's like a way.
I don't like that. I don't like that. I think digital comics should be cheaper than physical comics. I don't like that.
I agree with you there. But I do think this is a good idea because, at first, I think that there's going to be a huge speculator boom on these things.
Oh yeah,
and it's going to be ridiculous to get one. But I think after that, we're in a big speculator bubble right now in general, and I think that's got to pop sooner or later.
I hope so.
We're reaching 90s X-Men levels of speculation on books.
Did you see that Batman Fortnite book? Jesus.
Yeah,
I don't want to.
Yeah.
You know what? That's a good idea too, though. That's going to appeal to a lot of kids, and if
it's a good series. It's actually a good series.
One thing that comics have not done a great job of, exactly. But the whole comic card thing, I think, is actually kind of a clever idea. It'll be interesting how they work out the kinks. I think it's a matter of time before someone like Marvel or DC jumps on board and does it too. But, there's a lot of people that prefer digital and, for any number of reasons. But a big reason I see a lot is like running out of space, So I think that it can satisfy a collector's need to have something in their hands, but also then you can actually like read it. So, I mean, obviously there's probably going to end up being like 1 in 25 variants for the cards, 1 in 50 variants. I know there's going to be a huge speculator like boom on these things, But overall, I think it's a pretty decent idea. And going back to what you were saying, Aaron, I do think that it kind of evens out for the fact that digital comics cost the same as physical comics. At least you're getting something that you can even display if you want,
Mhm.
or I'm sure there's going to be like card sleeves that you can
like
collect
binders or something like that.
Exactly.
I'm just one of those people. No matter how hard I try, I just cannot get into digital comics. Like I just can't. Like I just
I'm up
can't
there.
read. I just can't. I don't know. I've tried. I just won't read them if they're digital. I mean, it's cool. I'll read like one or two, and then I'll just be like, oh, okay, cool. My read list is on my computer now. You know what I mean? And then like it'll just sit there as a file on my computer.
I'm the same way.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm
more enticed to read something if I have it in my hands.
Well, it's kind of like a lot of places.
Hi, Eva.
What's up, Eva? A lot of places now, do like direct deposit and stuff, and you never actually like see your money. It just is like in your account, and then you diversify it. But like it's kind of like comics,
What is
you're
money?
saying. Well, think about it like this: like when you have a stack of comics, you're like, oh, I have a whole stack of comics to read. I better read some of them. Where if they're like on your computer, that it's not really a stack of comics. Like you said, I have a whole bunch of comics on my tablet right now to read for like probably like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But like since it's not something I can see getting bigger and like
Yeah.
in my face, it's not something I regularly think about. Like, oh, I should read some comics. So like it's kind of like, I don't know, like when I first got a credit card, it wasn't real money that I was spending, and I got myself into some trouble that way. So like, it's kind of the same with comics for me, where it's like, like I can physically see I have this comic book to read, but like on my tablet, it's just like, oh, look at that! I forgot I had like 20 comics in here to read.
Yeah, I got that. I told myself when I decided I was an adult,
when you decided, I like that.
When I decided I was an adult about this one specific thing, I told myself that I would collect one thing, that I would limit myself to one thing, and that thing just so happened to fall on comics. So I don't collect video game, or one physical collection, because I don't want like a collection of video games, a collection of like everything. You know what I mean? It'd be way too much. So like everything else I have is all digital. Like all my video games, movies, all that kind of stuff. It's all digital. But my comics, I prefer to have physical. I don't know. I just like to flip through a book and smell it.
No, that's totally understandable. I enjoy reading digitally, but I definitely prefer reading physically. I just think there's something about there's just something about having a book in your hands.
The last book I read digitally was Sinestro War Gore by Jeff Johns. I'm just gonna,
good book.
Leave it at that.
I prefer Blackest Night from Johns. But...
Well, I haven't dissed Johns once this stream, so.
Are you a Johns disser?
I am. We are. We don't like Johns.
I don't like. Johns. I think he's definitely like a garbage person, but like.
Have you read The Three Jokers?
A lot. What's that?
Have you read The Three Jokers? Look at Jose's face.
It wasn't.
I hated Three Jokers. I'm sorry. It had great art though. But
that's definitely like not debatable. But like I don't know. I think there was a lot of. I think had Three Jokers come out like
10 years ago, 20 years ago.
When did New 52 end?
2016.
2016.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, I think it would have been more. Yeah, Wes is a huge Batman fan.
I know. I'm not going to talk shit on Wes.
I didn't think Three Jokers was like. It didn't blow me away, but I didn't think it was terrible. Thought it was a little anticlimactic. I think there was a lot of bait and switch.
Look at Jose.
I think it would have benefited.
I'm trying.
I think it would have benefited coming out a couple years ago, But something that I've told a lot of people, and I'll say it here too. I am not a comic book critic. I am not rarely a critic on anything. Typically the worst you'll hear from me is like, wasn't for me, but like
definitely wasn't for me.
That's totally fair, and that's the beauty of comics. It's like, not everything
you
is
can
going
find
to
something
be
that's for
everyone.
you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You can always find a comic that's for you. You don't have to read Three Jokers.
I never understand people who get offended if like you like something that I don't like, and that makes me angry. Or like you like something that mindset is interesting to me.
Okay, guys. We've been live for an hour, and we brought up how we don't like Jeff Johns. Are we gonna bring up anything about Star Wars?
I was gonna stray more to something else, but no, not Star Wars.
I
was gonna pose a question.
I can drop a Star Wars bomb.
Do it.
I've never seen any Star Wars.
Oh my God. Okay, so
I told you it was a bomb.
You're with this weirdo down here.
I said, nerd culture is completely like this realm of nerd culture is completely new to me.
She likes Peter. That's good.
Of course you do. Oh, you haven't seen Star Wars either. Have you seen Spaceballs?
Yes.
Okay,
I have.
Then you're good.
That's something.
Then you're good. You know the gist of it.
You know the gist of it. You know everything.
I know everything that happens in Star Wars just because like I'm on like the internet and it's kind of hard not to. Like I can piece together, but there's a lot of people that know this very well about me. I have not seen most movies. I have seen I am not good at movies. I have trouble concentrating for that long. I don't like movie theaters. I don't like being around like crowds of people.
That's fine. I'll drop a bomb now. The first time I saw the Nolan Batman trilogy was this year.
Yeah.
Did you like it? I forgot. Did you like it?
I mean, I've been quoting Heath Ledger for like a couple months now, and like people are yelling at me. They're like, "Stop! It's not 2008 anymore." I just saw the movie. It's 2008 for me.
I can kind of piggyback off of that a little bit. In The Dark Knight Rises, this is kind of an example of how new I am to comics. In The Dark Knight Rises, I was blown away when Bane broke Batman's back. Couldn't believe it.
I love that.
Yeah. What issue?
I couldn't believe it. But that just speaks to how new to comics I am.
Was that issue 497?
Give me 1 second.
Batman 497. It was Kelly Jones's artwork. I mentioned him earlier when we were talking about Scarecrow. It was Kelly Jones's artwork cover. I think it was 497. I have that issue. I actually have that issue like reprinted like 100 times. Like I have a lot. I have like the original and then I have it reprinted. Like they do like DC dollar comics like and stuff like that. I actually like that. How they do the reprints for $1.
DC stopped doing DC dollar comics.
Yeah, that sucked. I hate that. Oh, I was right. Oh, that's
497.
I have the full cover, not with the title on the side of it. It's just the full cover.
Yeah, it's the whole full cover's underneath. Yeah.
497. I was right.
Good job, Erin.
I can't believe that. I'm never right about anything.
That's a good story too. Nightfall. It's a really good story.
Yeah, it's Batman.
Yeah, but I was going to ask you guys a question.
I will forever be biased against. Yeah.
No, what were you going to say?
Oh, I will always be biased in favor of Nightfall because Azrael is one of my favorite comic book characters. I just think he's fascinating. I love him so much. First appearance up there? Yeah, there it is.
No.
I think he's got one of the coolest looking costumes in comics too. No matter which version. Yeah, exactly. No matter which version, I love it. Justice League Odyssey had an awesome costume for him too. Yeah, I just love Azrael, so I'll forever be biased for that series.
I like what was that? Azrael. He was in the White Knight, wasn't he?
Yeah, he
Yep.
was.
I like his design
Curse
in
of the
that.
White Knight.
I like his design in that.
Yeah.
The Curse of the
That
White
was
Knight.
pretty cool.
Although I didn't really like the book. I did like the designs and the artwork.
Were you a fan of the first White Knight?
I was. Of
I'm
the
a
first one, I
sucker
was.
for-
More so, I
I'm
like it a
sucker
lot
for
more
a
than the
good
sequel.
Outworld.
I like it a lot more than Curse.
The whole White Knight series for me is like it started off really good. Curse of the White Knight, I didn't care for as much, and I really didn't care for a little bit more
I don't really
about
care for
the
Sean
Harley
Murphy.
Quinn one. I didn't really like the Harley Quinn series.
I don't really care for Sean Murphy. He's kind of a
He's kind of a troublemaker too.
he's kind of a troublemaker in the
He's a
industry.
troublemaker.
Yeah, I've heard
He's
that too.
He's a troublemaker. That one. He's up to no shenanigans.
I'm gonna ask you guys a question. Have you guys read the new Supergirl issue, Woman of Tomorrow?
No,
Yeah.
I have not
No.
yet. My comics for this past week should be here like tomorrow or Monday.
he's
but,
a turd.
Yeah,
Like I just
I've
read.
I've heard very differing accounts of it.
Here's my take on Supergirl World of Tomorrow. And like, I generally like Tom King, but there's some characters he's not really good at writing. The issue itself is great, but it is also the worst depiction of Supergirl I've ever read. I don't know if that makes any sense to you guys.
That
I gave
actually,
up.
funny enough, kind of combines the two general consensus that I've heard is that like, wow, this is a really great story. Why is Supergirl in it?
And like my thing is like with Tom King, he did the same thing with Batgirl, Heroes in Crisis, where he just will completely change someone's character just to fit the story.
Dude, I gave up. I gave up on Strange Adventures.
Oh god, yeah,
And I gave up on Catwoman, Batwoman, Catwoman, Batwoman, Catwoman.
Batman, Catwoman.
I gave up. I gave up.
Well, I mean, Catwoman should be a Batwoman because if we've just found out Batman doesn't do everything the hero does.
Yeah,
heroes don't do
one
that.
Of the most
don't.
entertaining discourses on Twitter.
Talk about the greatest Discord of the week.
I was waiting for that to come up, guys. Like you guys are really mature.
I mean,
thank you. That's
we had
the first
we
time
had
anyone told me that.
We had to slide it in somehow, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know.
Nice.
So, what is your opinion? Do you think that Batman? I mean, he definitely eats ass. We've seen him eat the booty before.
Can you set your
Carolyn
sources
Lee.
on that one?
The current artist for Money Shot right now, Carolyn Lee, she did a drawing of Batman going down and Catwoman holding on to the ears, which is exactly what those ears are for.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
he should be.
They're handlebars.
They're handlebars.
It doesn't show what he's going down on either. You know, he could just, you know, or he could be, you know, he could be doing either or. You know, like I know he eats the booty. Come on, but like for real though, like superheroes don't do that. What is this, 1930? Like what the fuck? Like Batman definitely gets down. Have you seen the way him and Selena like make out on top of like skyscrapers and shit? Like, are you
look
serious?
At the new 52 Catwoman series. The new 52 Catwoman series says it all.
I was just gonna say.
And that
was it a naked Batman? Was it a bat dick or was it a Nightwing dick?
It was Bat and Catwoman naked on the rooftop.
Okay, well then you know what they're doing. They're not just hanging out there naked.
Well, it's kind of like how DC has this weird thing of not letting Harley and Ivy be together. And it's just like,
oh no, thing right now, yeah.
Oh no, they're just really good friends who live together and like hug each other.
I have a question.
What's up?
What happened to her and Booster?
They're ignoring that. I mean,
on the show?
Booster's just like I have a Booster pop
in the series because in Sam Humphrey's run, she gets together with Booster at the end.
Yeah,
of
she hooks up with Booster, and I was like, yeah, that they deserve each other.
Here's the thing about that run, like this goes for both the Humphreys and the Palomini Connor run. It's really questionable how in continuity it is. Like they will mention stuff in continuity.
Why are you doing this to me? I love her.
You're one of the few people that actually do love that couple, though, too.
I'm a Booster fan, okay? Yeah. It's not that I want to see Harley with Booster. It's that I want to see Booster with somebody that he deserves. And him and Harley, like, really, they were really good together. Like they were together for like 5 issues, and I really like their chemistry. As much as I want to see her with Ivy, like if DC is going to be too, cowardly to do that, like put her with Booster then. Like
I
Booster's
think if
awesome.
the last week has taught us anything about DC, it's that DC is very prudish, and they're
Very.
like, because it's like, yeah, what is
Give me
this? The
1 second.
1930s? Of course, like these things are happening,
Yeah.
but like I don't know. I mean,
They're afraid to
I
push that
think
envelope. Yeah.
yeah, I think the Booster Harley dynamic is fun, but I definitely would not put them as a couple.
I mean, yeah. And I think even though she left just now, I think both Tynion and Stephanie Phillips are trying to get to. They're very slowly building up to it. I know a lot of fans are upset by it, but I think they're slowly building up to the Harley and Ivy being an actual couple at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, judging from all the Pride covers we got, they're all over the Pride covers.
I don't know why I'm so against it.
I was just gonna say, I mean, they let this go to print, so I mean,
I've got that at the top of my wall right now.
Yeah. Okay.
I love this cover. I love that cover. Thought it was.
I want to gush a little bit. Guys. And I was looking at the Pride book last night because I finally got to my read pile, and I was looking through the Pride book, and I read the foreword, and I was just looking through it, and I couldn't help but I just got emotional and started crying.
It's a great book, and it's really heartwarming.
It's really amazing that it exists. Like it just blows my mind that it exists, and like
I'm very thankful that DC did it right.
Yes,
I'm very thankful that DC did right by it, because DC already struggles with how many female-led books are there? How many?
Look at the solicitations today.
I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful that a multi-billion-dollar corporation made a Pride book with the hopes that someone like me would buy it.
But
and they banked correctly.
There's still a lot of companies that aren't willing to admit that there's money to be made in those kind of classifications.
I don't really get in too much into the Pride. I mean, I think like among my peers, I can celebrate Pride, among like my friends and my peers and stuff, but I don't really get too much into the corporate Pride because it gets to a point where I think I'm being used. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Totally understand that. Absolutely. And I unfortunately kind of think that more often than not, that's probably the case. Is that it's like, hey, look at me, look at how look at how progressive I am, and look at how great. It's kind of like how the companies will change to like the Pride flag for the month, and then it's like,
I don't need a rainbow to look progressive, like
right, exactly. And it's like, maybe speak with your actions rather than like a publicity stunt. That's where I kind of fall in those things. Like if you're backing things up, that's one thing. But if like you think that you're gonna make a difference by changing your profile picture for a month, then I'm sorry, but like you're really not doing anything.
Exactly. And like
Legends of the Dark Knight has a really good point here.
What? Wes.
Wes. One of the reasons why it's such a success is because of the creators they have, and I kind of wish they keep most of those creators going.
That's actually that's a really good point too, because if this would have happened like 10 years ago, you knew everybody that was writing all those stories would have been straight. I mean, they even got a trans person to write the trans character.
That was my favorite story.
And that's the
Dreamer story.
That's amazing, because they could have gotten anybody to write that story, but they actually got a trans person to write a trans character. Yep. And
not only did they get a trans person, they got the actual person.
Yeah, I know. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I like
pretty
that
awesome.
One. I don't want to read it yet because I know I'm gonna cry, and okay. So I posted earlier on Twitter, like every time I go to read the comics that I actually have whittled down on my pull list, I get emotional and start crying. These creators are too damn good at what they do. They just Anyway, we're running out of time here, so I'd like to ask Peter here if he has anything you would like to plug in, or would you just like me to plug in your Twitter and people could go there?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to plug that, or if you want to plug the Legends of the Dark Knight, Wes is in the comments. But it's kind of a fun little YouTube podcast thing that we started, super low key, kind of like this, just kind of getting together with creators and chatting. We've talked to a lot of really great people.
And that's what it's about, getting to know people and just hearing other people's experiences.
Exactly. Yeah. And, more than anything, what I want to plug is just support comic books. If you want to see comics change for the better, you have to support for the better. And, complain all you want, but, telling a creator to their face that their book was crap isn't going to help anything. It's
except
just
Rob Liefeld. Except Rob Liefeld. You can tell.
Oh, you don't like Rob Liefeld?
No, I hate that motherfucker now. Oh, sorry, I just dropped the F-bomb. I just dropped the F-bomb. He blocked me on Twitter because I told him to stop being racist. He was saying he was bitching about the George Floyd trial being on TV. He was like, CNN need to put something else on. This is ridiculous. And I was like, Rob, just change the channel, dude. It's not that hard. Why are you just bitching on Twitter? Just change the channel. And he blocked me. So fuck that guy. I've bought every goddamn cover that guy's ever done and supported that guy for 20-some years. Fuck that guy. I'm trading in all my Liefeld covers to my comic book store.
Did you even support the triple chest Captain America Liefeld?
I had my reservations about it, but it kind of grew on me over the years.
It was growing on Cap too.
Yeah, it was growing.
I never found my footing with him.
Liefeld is interesting because obviously he's the creator of Deadpool. But
no, he's the co-creator of Deadpool.
Okay, fair. But even then, he may have named and helped make the character.
He just looked at Deathstroke and said, "Hey, this is cool."
I don't think that he helped make the Deadpool that everyone knows and loves today. To me,
that's Gail Simone. That's Gail Simone.
Exactly. Those are two very different characters.
That is the Gail Simone Deadpool everyone loves today.
I'm going to credit Marv Wolfman and George Perez as the creators of Deadpool because they created Deathstroke and Rob just ripped everything off of Deathstroke. So.
You mean Death, Pool, Stroke? Different. Those aren't different things. Wade Wilson, Slade
Somebody
Wilson.
asked him. I like an interview I saw with Rob Liefeld. Somebody asked him that, and he was just like, "What? I don't see any similarities between." I'm just like, "How do you?"
What are your thoughts about Red Tool?
That's ridiculous. Just own it. You know how much borrowing goes on in comics throughout history? Tons.
He's such a child.
What are your two thoughts about Red Tool?
Red Tool?
He's from the Harley Quinn series. He's a ripoff Deadpool. He is Deadpool, but just...
When did this happen?
During the Palomiyati
I didn't read it. You haven't sent me that one yet, so I haven't read it.
But it's them basically making fun of Deadpool, but it's called Red Tool because he's a tool.
Yeah, Deadpool is definitely has had its ups and downs, but I would not credit Rob Liefeld with any good iteration of Deadpool.
No, the Deadpool that everyone loves is not Rob Liefeld's.
Yeah, I like Daniel Way's Deadpool.
My favorite Deadpool is actually one single issue that introduces a character that I absolutely adore, and he's called Kill Puddle. And if you're familiar with it, basically it is a bunch of different body parts that Wade has lost over the years that somehow find each other and create a new entity known as Kill Puddle. So say Wade lost an arm in one issue. Nice.
That is West Coast Avengers, right?
Yeah. I don't know. That's in the new run.
That's in the new run, but yeah.
Yeah, I like Kelly Thompson.
Her Deadpool is really good. Had some good things there.
All right, we're going to keep going forever if we keep talking. I hate to cut it short. Actually, we're not cutting it short. We only go for an hour. So we're actually 20 minutes. But it's okay. It's okay. None of that matters.
It's fine by me. I've enjoyed this. This has been a lot of fun.
No, this has been a lot of fun, but I have to wrap it up, closing statements and all that. I have to, unfortunately, I have somewhere to be in 40 minutes. This is me, okay? I'm busy. I'm always running around doing stuff, and then I sleep all day.
I just don't know how she does it.
Yeah, yo, I haven't talked to Jose in like months. Like, I literally have not had a conversation with my co-host in.
We were like
months.
texting. We were like, message each other.
It's like, hey, how are you?
Days before.
Good.
Yeah.
Things are bad right now. Oh, I'm sorry. That sucks. And that's just about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's like being an adult, and that's life. Life happens, and
Yeah,
I think
life is-
now. Last year I was laid off, so I was on Twitter all the time talking to people, and I got back to work, and now we got like wedding planning and work and everything, and it's like I find myself not talking to people for a while and feeling bad about it. But like that's just real life. Last year was not real life to me.
No,
it
like, wasn't. Like,
there's never gonna be a time, hopefully in my life again, where I am sitting at home for 6-7 months straight doing nothing.
That's why I did nothing during it. I did nothing because I'm like, yo, it's just like I haven't done this since I was in school. Like, I'm not like this is never gonna happen again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
So
and like also like everything that bad could happen just happened all in like 1 week. The past weeks.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's like that sometimes. I hope things get better for you, Jose.
Thank you.
Is the kitty doing good?
No, she's doing good. We have a vet checkup tomorrow. What happened was like cat got really sick. We had to take her to the vet, the pet ER Sunday morning. But she's been on meds. We have a checkup tomorrow, but she's been a lot better now. So
That's
thank
good.
you for asking. Yeah.
That's good. I don't like.
I'm glad she's doing better. Obviously, if you two know me and my page, I'm equally, if not more, passionate about animals than I am comics. So that always.
I'm more passionate about animals than I am people.
So. The fur babies are important.
Well,
I have
that
three
is
of them.
an absolute given for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah. I have not read that. I in fact
have read it either. No.
Never heard of that, to be honest with you.
Neither have I. I'm gonna add that to my list to look up actually, because Duncan, hey, he has some good recommendations when it comes to comics. Anyway, though, closing statements. Do you have any, Peter?
Closing statement. Read comics, be good to each other. I mean, that simple.
That's about all it is. I mean, thank you for coming on. This is awesome.
Thank you so much for having me. I really had a blast. I feel like I could talk for, hours more.
We definitely
could. Yeah.
Okay, so here's something we need to plan just real quick before I go. It's not an idea. You and Wes need to both come on here.
I think that would be fantastic.
That'd be fun. Yeah, that would be definitely fun because
absolutely,
you guys are a lot of fun to just nerd out and just talk to, and that's what it's all about right there. Jose, do you have anything to say?
Just keep reading comics. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on my blog. Be one of like 3 people that read it.
Oh,
I'm a little behind on my reviews right now, but
it's okay. Life.
Yeah.
Let me find your Twitter real quick and plug it.
Plug it.
Plug it in.
What are you working on? Any reviews at the moment?
I'm working on like this week's DC reviews at the moment. I usually do all, unless it's a book I really like. I do all one company's one blog post, all the Marvels and next, and then I'll do a bunch of indies for next. But sometimes if I really like a book, like the last Money Shot issue or the whole entire Tom Taylor's Nightwing, I'll do like a whole special post about that.
I don't read all of Jose's reviews, but I do read his reviews of the book. Like if I have a book and he reviews it and I read the book, I'll read his review.
I did put up a few weeks ago when they announced the Batgirl director being chosen. I did do like the top 10 books to pick up for Batgirl.
I wasn't casted. I'm sorry.
It just looked too much like her. People wouldn't believe it.
It's just too. Yo, I saw what's his I think it was Bruno Ronaldo. He had tweeted out like Babs. There's no way Babs isn't real or something. And I was like, hey, I'm right here. Like, thank you for using my likeness. Like I always say that when he posts like Babs pictures. I'm like, thanks for using my likeness. I'm a dork. Anyway, it's
He
been
draws
awesome.
the best. He draws a
He
great
does.
babs.
He does. Anyway, guys, it's been fun.
Anyways.
Until next week. Actually, I don't know if we're gonna have a show next week. This might actually be the last show until mid-August.
Oh, really?
So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be
Moving, yeah.
really busy these next couple weeks. So I'm probably not gonna get a chance to be reading any comics or be able to talk about any comics. So,
But when we come back,
we definitely will come back, and when we do, it'll be awesome. But this is our 10th episode.
Woo!
it's a milestone.
Whoop whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
Thank you, Peter. Anyway, guys,
You're very
I'll
welcome.
see
Thanks
you
for
guys
having me.
later.
All righty, take
Bye.
care.